Hello, welcome to a brand new commentary. So this time I'm going to do it for the Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary. So there has been a couple of videos, praising it, and I remember a Cinema Sins equivalent to this. But I think, I think what I'm going to do, which makes it stand out, is just try and see it as like a narrative, like how we normally judge stories nowadays. Because whilst I think there are definitely some like narrative bits and bobs which could have been improved a bit, but other than that, I still think of it as like one of my favourite stories. Like I really like crossover films. But anyway, let's hop right into it. So, it's the all story cutscenes for movie, and it's under the channel ProsafiaGaming. It's 49.49. That's the length. So that's the specific one to go for. And once you have it up, and we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, so you see an airborne stadium above some Greenland, and it's quite a small map when you play the game as well. Just makes you wonder what the world is. And then we have Zelda and Peach. They're part of the crowd. They're somehow not part of this whole background, but they're there. They're probably just like, I don't know, from extra front seats, I suppose. Yeah. And then Mario and Kirby arrive as trophies. Because like they're in trophy form once they like lose a fight or something. So I don't know why they were thrown in as trophies. I think it's just to help establish what the second form is. Maybe it's like a Skylanders thing. There's Pit watching there. Looks like he normally likes to watch some fighting. Oh yeah, there we go, and have a side-by-side comparison to the alternative story read. I'm not the biggest fan personally of like different outcomes in a story, but I think this one does it light enough at a point where I kind of give it a pass because the main event still carried forward. It's just different characters at different positions. Only a couple of them. This is like part of Group A almost. Anyway, so Mario and Kirby have a nice fair fight, and now this ship is going all across, and it's Meta Knight's ship, but it's been hijacked. And we see those, they're called pyramids. I think that's the goons. Anyway, so they're all ready to fight, and the ladies can fight too, which is cool. Yeah, now all the goons are gone. And we see the Asian minister, yeah, just right now. Yeah, he's not a playable character, but he's still given the label. Oh yeah, so does Master Hand and Taboo later on as well. Here's Rob the Robot. Duplicates of him. And at first you're like, oh, this is a type of explosive. And you'll see why these explosives are made, which, yeah. And then that's a type of cannonball which somehow comes from the stadium. Does that mean Petit Piranha right there managed to spit one out or something? Could it be teleported? I'm not sure. But regardless, Kirby helps defeat it. And then Mario comes along. Alright, so after the nice fight, the hijacking drops off some goons, then Big Piranha shows up, he goes, and then now Wario appears. And I think Wario is his own kind of league, but I think from the pit thing earlier, is it like a widely broadcasted thing? And so, yeah, because is the trophy winning of the characters like like a thing for multiple characters? So we now know that Wario's been after them. So yeah, or just having them in some cemented animation, that I think that trophies can be handy for that. Anyway, so from this black void, I guess we'll find out soon enough. So that's consuming the whole stadium, making a bit worried. And then here's, what's their name again? I want to nearly say Paulina, but I don't think it's that. It's definitely not Rosalina. But yeah, you can play as her in a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is cool. Anyway, she hands his bits. She hands Pit a weapon, sorry, and yeah, knowing that there's some kind of danger, yeah, no, he's off. And yeah, because we kind of saw like some of the classic characters, and so this is like quite representative of you know, like newcomers coming about. Not to mention when Pit fall back, I swear I saw his face like glitch up and down during the fallback, unless it's just by video playing up. Well, I do quite like the animation for a Wii game. I think this looks rather good. Right, so there's the ship. It looks like wherever it goes, it makes the clouds go all red. Well, it definitely did earlier, but I think this is just like a normal colour. So this is like a sky land section, which is kind of neat. There go more goons come about. He's surrounded, but yeah, he's gonna get fighting, which is rather neat. Yeah, is this the game that helped modernise Pit, unless I'm wrong? Anyway, it looks like Mario's just been like shot through the clouds and then just lands. So it looks like some clouds can be solidified. Oh no, they're not on a floating rock. It looks like I think from that flashback you can like somewhat see that, oh, you know, that's what's been in trouble now, we must work together, and another aircraft is chasing after Meta Knight's ship, and they just about managed to catch up with Kirby's star, and now it's been derailed. Yeah, is it Fox in that craft? Unless it's Falcon. Yeah, I can't really see. Anyway, so the ship's just been knocked. Well, off it goes, but it gets those two off, so I bet for sure trying to figure out what ship was about, but Fox's ship, we could say, just derailed them off. I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my favourite scenes. Yeah, he's one of my favourite characters in the DK, so cool. But yeah, he's just on his own business, really. He's just he had another shenanigan of his bananas being stolen, and then later on they played Jungle Hijinks, which is such a good track. So it looks like DK got it guarded up, but Diddy has some projectiles. Yeah, rather good shot, and then yeah, those bullet bills are down. Really good pose, but now they're like, let's go after them. And then the banana's been restored. Although now Bowser's arrived, so because Bowser shoots DK with the thing to turn him to a trophy, and yet DK ends up being chained up and nearby the Rob factory. Although Bowser's working with Ganondorf, as we'll see later on, so are they all about the trophy collecting then? Yeah, nice for DK to move Diddy aside, although I feel like DK should have like jumped away. Did he? Well, I guess DK isn't known for being smart, which yeah, maybe that's the reason. Pit, you can fly. Okay. Maybe it's just a bit too quick. And that's the only reason I could think of. Yeah, why wasn't he flying already? And not to mention how long would they been chasing, and if it's a long chase, why didn't the Asian minister levitate earlier? And then yeah, they used to be in the Clownland. Okay. Now that's what's his face. So Diddy's on his own. But now this giant Pokemon is. Oh, that's the crash ship. Okay, so it was Fox McCloud, I think. Yeah. But who knows? There's another ship later on, like he's in another ship. I guess we'll go back to that anyway. There he is, and he saves Diddy. So we have about 3 subplots so far. Maybe 4 at a push. Yeah, so Fox has this reflective ability. There's not a lot of battling in these cutscenes, but I do like seeing these, their natural abilities come into play. And this is, Diddy being like, we need to say Donkey Kong, and then that's where, he just looks like he's along for the ride, because I bet he must, want to go after Meta Knight's ship, and I think he probably didn't resist more because what happened to DK could be tied to all of this. Oh, that's a rubbish shot. So it looks like Fox is risking it, so he's just flying away, or just jumping off that cliff. Alright, and there's Tooling, a quick introduction. Not that he's joined. Yeah, there's about like 5 to 10 characters that don't appear in the story. Like, it must be extremely tricky. I think there must have been one reason why they didn't make another mode of this, because of the amount of characters. But if they could cut down some, then I'm sure they can do it again. There was this yeah, it's one interesting video of someone, like, if he was to make another Super Smash Brothers game, who would make the cut, or who would they have to cut out, and yeah, it's quite tricky condensing them. Anyway, this is Lucas. He's been chased by a statue, and some brimmers that have come about as well. And then Ness comes to save the day. He's in the PK Thunder. I wonder what PK means. And yeah, and then Ness uses, like, is it a PK Flash he uses next? So it's powerful enough to destroy this, like, statue first layer, I suppose, but it was extremely downplayed in the actual game. So yeah, the pyramids must have been spreading around, and then that statue was just after them. But now Warrior is there now to try and collect more trophies. Just these multiple shots. You would think him and Bowser work together, but they never shared a single moment. And also Warrior does have a vehicle which we can presume is nearby, which it explains the trophy storage, for where the other trophy is at. I feel like he can shoot Lucas as well if he wanted to, unless Warrior wants more of a variety. But he decides to run off, and Warrior's like, yeah, I got him. So Lucas is sad again, and I don't think Pokemon Trainer was there earlier, but he's just come about just now. As you later find out, he's Pokemon hunting, so he's already quite active. And there's Squirtle that comes about. Yep, and all the guns have been fought. Yeah, because the level progresses, and yet they kind of stay in the same spot. So he's like, oh, now the danger's been done, bye. But then Luca looks back, and then he's like, no, let me come with you. Probably it's like something to do, and hopefully it might go into somewhere, especially with the pyramids being there too. So, yeah. Yeah, Lucas gives himself something to do. And there's another explosion happening. And the way these the robots close their eyes and shut down, it's almost as if they're accepted their fate or fulfilled their purpose, because they're probably unlikely to make it to the first part of this explosion process. And now, yeah, it's the second one. And there's Marth being like, what's going on there? Because it looks like this is massive battle that's been fought with all of these arrows in that, but there's no, like, bodies anywhere. Yeah, that's a lot of pyramids, so they're just invading a whole heap of Nintendo areas. So you must just slice them all up. You know, just wondering what's beyond the dome. But then Meta Knight comes along. I don't know why he tried to attack Moth. Maybe he thought it was his doing. Although they could ask questions instead of actually fighting one another. Although now they've sliced the pyramids, that's where they'll probably have that realisation of, oh, you know, with these pyramids and not with either of us, so let's find out who's actually responsible. And so they're trying to have a go with, you know, against the minister. The Meta Knight's just been downplayed, so that explains why he can't exactly try fly again. But then here's Ike. I think he does run fast anyway, so he must have seen us from a distance. So that teleportation, I kind of, you know, a bit more of a reason compared to the other moments happen. Anyway, so Luigi somehow on his own. Oh, this looks like the area where the floating stadium was at. I wonder if he was making his way or something. Anyway, he's just been distracted by a King DDD goon, and then yeah, it's just been caught by the king himself. So yeah, he's into the statue collecting, and it's a bit more clear with you know what he kind of does with them. But you know, Mario has his as well. They probably recognise Luigi as well, being like, oh yeah, let's get hold of it. He's touching the base as well, unless you really have to tap it or like more of a specific action to wake them up. Anyway, King DDD is just robbed the vehicle. Mario's just been battered by the others. Yeah, and who knows what he's going to be doing next. And now we cut to Link. He's in a forest, so yeah, the number of people we're introducing is quite quick, and it's not even 20 minutes left. So yeah, this is already like a really chunky story. Anyway, so it's at first I thought this was like the origin of him getting a sword, but I reckon he's just come back for it now. It's in need. And then Yoshi's somehow in this area as well. Yoshi's a she, isn't she? That's what I've heard. Link also has the what's it called? The little thing that goes, listen, hey. Although there go the dangers now around. He's already prepared, and he kind of is aware that Yoshi is about as well. And yeah, once again, they couldn't quite make it to the ship, or at least they're going to aim to follow it. I don't know why they didn't go down. Like, all of these characters seem to have no problem jumping high in that. Oh, someone's in the box in the ship. I think that gives us something like, oh, I wonder what's going on. But as we'll find out, it's Solid Snake in there, so that better just shows that there is someone like far more onto it, and I think he's just staying undercover for now. And then there's Samus. She's been looking for a suit, and now she's encountered Pikachu, so we're already getting universes mixing up, you know, with Pokemon Trainer appearing in Lucas's town, and then yeah, looks like Pikachu's just been robbed earlier. Probably getting absorbed of his lightning. And then all of these other robots, and that's where you're like, oh, this is probably their base. So Samus is also in quite a close area to who's been responsible for all of these attacks. This is where she finds the suit. Yeah, there it is. The suit must have been nicked recently, unless she needs it, but needs to get it back once it was nicked. Yeah, I think something like that. Quite a delayed reaction, but oh well. Bowser now has another statue, although it looks like he has this clone, so it looks like Bowser likes to use others as like an additional goon almost. But why was Donkey Kong in the craft later on? Like, he could have been used as a decent goon, for later use. Anyway, that's probably Bowser's gone. That's just been destroyed, and now they're just fought off one of the princesses, and she's recognised by either character. They're done well to maintain like the actions and the shots in that. It's extremely similar. An opposite team has been defeated. A bit odd for Mario and Yoshi to fight one another, but yeah, I don't know, something that didn't quite sit right with me. But yeah, Kirby saves that team, just manages to save them, and then Arrow gets his vehicle shut down, and then off they go. This is pretty much like the first official team, or maybe like the main team. They have a lot of spotlight moments. So they follow DDD to the cave. Now they're on the opposite side, or the craft stairs opposite that castle, so they're going to have a look at that. Ganondorf's at the robot factory as you find out later on, where Haphazard has all of his goons. Yeah, a bit funny for fantasy the character to be in the sci-fi area, but I like it. Oh, and there's a Charizard, and Pokemon Trainer's going to go after him. But let's be real, it's Ash, isn't it? And a Bulbasaur as well. Is it? Bulbasaur, or is it Ivysaur? No, is it Ivysaur the first form? Not sure. Anyway, so Wario's here, and he's probably going to try and restart with the trophy collecting. And now he's been fought off, and Lucas is wondering where Nessa's gone. I think this is like one of the stronger payoffs, Nessa's presumably a mate, and for him to be taken away now if Lucas has defeated Nessa's captor, and despite Ness not being around, yeah, it's just like a decent payoff. Anyway, we just saw an introduction of Jigglypuff, so yeah, I feel like with yeah, I don't know why those own little intros were slotted in between, because I feel like if you're just trying to watch the emissary itself, yeah, I think that might be a bit puzzling if this is like your first watch. Anyway, so King DDD has the statues he has, so it looks like he's gone through a like a decent route, so that the main team didn't quite. Oh no, maybe I think he was just ahead of time. He just found a hidden spot, and yeah, and he goes into his statue form. A bit of a delayed reaction because he was just spinning for a bit. Oh, and there you go. I think that's Bowser's gap as well. No, he's extra quick. And I don't know why it was both Mario here, but I think it's just a familiarity that it's Mario versus Bowser, of course. And here's the chip thing, so that's just been recently set up, and we'll see how that pays off later on. And Bowser has his backup plan, so yeah, I can see how he would plan to go to the edge. Oh yeah, he was going there anyway, but it was just a really good time. And he's now going to the ship. So that's already connected, but from the flying craft he does go to Ganondorf later on, but we don't really see that travel, but at least we can presume. Kirby's found the chip and he eats it, so yeah. And I thought that castle area was where Mario and the others were nearby, unless this turns out to be a different area. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the third explosion. Oh yeah, so yeah, those explosions make up this dimension where Master Hand is currently in. Not to mention Taboo as well. Oh, and Ganondorf's like, I think he because at first he could be like, oh, I do have special plans, but if anything, it seems to be going his way because I don't think he has any intention to betray Master Hand. Anyway, a couple of Pokemon being collected, so that's neat for Ash. Again, that's where they end up in this this ruin, and I think they end up standing there for ages. I bet they're just wondering how they get up there or something. That's a new foe. I like his design, either a ship or an alien, but far more standout design compared to like a Transformer, for instance. So that's where they're like, oh, let's chase after him, he might have some answers. Martha seemed to be unsure earlier, but well, they're there now. And yeah, and off they go to fight it. It probably has a couple of scratches. Oh, so he decides to leave, but he falls through the road. Wario's statue is still there. I bet they were like, why is he off? But yeah, I think maybe he's just trying to find an area free of damage, but now he's here. Maybe he could be tied to Meta Knight's thing, but that's not really shown. It's just yet another goon. Maybe another foe of its own. Anyway, so them two continue to work together, and he's pretty battered. Oh wait, no, hang on. Yeah, he is connected to everything else. Yeah, because he has a device as well. So it's a pretty neat idea to have the device within like another living creature. Oh, so it looks like Ash is knocked out, but Lucas managed to set himself free, so he's definitely stronger. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I think Ash is knocked out because he's not responding. But he's grabbed hold of him, and Meta Knight just managed to save them both, so that's nice. And Wario's statue is gone. He comes back, although I don't know who brought him back. So Ash woken up, and yeah, they're both like really good buddies now. So yeah, it's like one of the actual stronger through lines, really. Yeah, that's another dome, and he's looking back on the first one, and even the other ones too. Oh, okay. So it makes us wonder, what he's thinking. Oh, another arrow. He's managed to dodge it quite well. And there goes, being chased again. And yeah, they're in some kind of desert area. And there's some trees nearby as well, so that's a nice way to connect the land. They're just suddenly appeared. They just suddenly realised. Oh, he just lost a robot. So once again, they're accepting of their task. Yeah, just quick thing. I'm not gonna lie, Rob the Robot's like one of my favourite robot designs. Just extremely iconic. So it takes a lot to stop the process. It's almost unstoppable, really. So they're kind of mates, almost as if Future Minster's almost like pushed to this task alongside the others. But like any other robot, they're probably just created to do this task. They've been sucked in the void as well, though we don't see them again. But the others managed to outrun it, so that's good. They're a bit slow at walking, although it looks like, yeah, there's Bowser. Yeah, he's just collecting more goons. Yeah, I think he must jump just in front. Diddy was distracted and shot that way. And now it's morphed into a giant Diddy. Well, oh no, no giant Diddy yet. But yeah, with Diddy as a new goon, that almost gives an advantage. But then Falcon comes along, we can assume that Fox has like contacted him. Oh, just Falco. Okay, that's nice. There you go. He destroys the weapon as well, pretty efficiently. Yeah, it's a bit of an action sequence was cool. But yeah, Bowser without his weapon decides to go. Not to mention the way he pointed his finger earlier, he almost has like some control of this ability, which is an interesting touch. And I feel like it's a bit of a Mario reference to this giant clone form. Anyway, so that goes away. Almost like needs a host, so we don't really see, evil clones occurring again. Even Falcon's like, oh, do I have to? And then the Fox is like, yeah, I suppose you do. There's DK statues, so it just looks like it's being reserved. For now, off to another floating island. So from what we can gather so far, we could probably make a guess already that that's where the robot's being made. Oh, and they have their main craft, and it's an intro sequence of Wolf. Yeah, it's a rather cool design he does. Yeah. So earlier, Diddy's team was trying to chase after DK, but lost him. But at least they got some idea. Then Samus has found the suit. She's like, "Oh no, how are we going to get off?" And then there's others wearing the same suit. Because I don't know much about Metroid, but I suppose there are like others who wear that similar suit. Yeah, and we don't really see how it comes down and how she puts it on. Yeah, that just seems quick. But anyway, yeah, looks like a pretty good suit. Just got rid of all of those robots. Yeah, so it's a very cool suit. Now they're there, they just like wonder what to do. But then really comes about, it gives them a proper smack. But the suit is can take a lot of damage, evidently. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're going to see him that day probably, like previous rivalries. But Pikachu saves her, which is cool, and then Ridley's down. Yeah, I mean, he can play as Ridley now in Ultimate. Anyway, so Ridley's out the way. Then they're exited that part, and with the like the mountainous foresty look, we can already kind of assume that it's that floating island. Not to mention just seeing where the robots come from, and hopefully they stop those specific robots. Yeah, and here's a Pikmin trying to scare one robot away, and looks like they're not having it. Not to mention that looks like a bigger robot as well, because got Falcon's around, and it looks like he's heard of the trouble as well. Yeah, look at the size of that robot. Because Falcon and Olimar are a similar size to DK and Diddy, as we see later on. I think he accidentally got rid of some Pikmin, but never mind, they kind of make it as a team of their own. And then Diddy's saving DK, which is cool, and Falcon and Fox are presumably doing other things. There will be the ship later on, actually. So yeah, from Falcon has watched, some people have been saved, and some primitive have got rid of. A bit of a greeting, and now they're like, let's go and fight them. Yeah, they're going to be reunited. And Diddy gives them a wave as well, so I think that's probably the like DK and Diddy, they bounce off really well, but Diddy and the others, I think that's a neat thing as well. And also I like how Pikachu saved Samus earlier, just another really good friendship. Oh yeah, so those two are presumably in that bigger ship. That big laser's done nothing, but it's like taking a lot of fire. And Meta Knight's like, that's my ship, I've got to go after it. He's making a good jump already, leaving the others, but I think he was going to understand that. Yeah, and the Ice Climbers are pretty much doing their own thing, because I think they do join the others, but they're far more in the background. They're following him because they're like, oh no, he's like beating us. But yeah, they go ahead, but Meta Knight can't fly unless he wants to save his wings, I don't know. And then there's Lucario, at peace, and he's been intruded. And yeah, Meta Knight can assume that it's a threat. And yeah, and the Ice Climbers are just standing by. But then they decide to bring one another back, probably as like a way to be like, maybe they like recognise this statue. Oh yeah, maybe they recognise the statue form, and so they're like, oh, so in actuality, they're not foes. So yeah, it's just like a thing of Nintendo lore, I suppose. Oh, so Fox and Falcon's ship has just been defeated and collected, and now it's just been crashed into because the other ship didn't go high enough. Now the ice guys are falling. They've presumably joined the others. Now they're attacking this group. See action bits of, and then Mario's team has gone to save them, which is a pretty awesome moment actually. Look at the height of that fall. That's a lot. Oh, Falcon's okay, Fox and Falco's ship is now going away after being strapped, so that's yeah. But they do come back though, presumably once they've like found other little crafts, I suppose. Anyway, Snake's already inside. He's sneaking about. Alright, yeah, that's how to travel around. Hang on, if Lucario can do that, why didn't he do it with Meta Knight earlier? You know, not fighting would have taken a lot of time to get here. But thanks to seeing earlier, it looks like he can tell between friends or foes. It's almost as if this land has like its own guardians, and they have like their statue form or trophy form. I think that's one way to explain it more. Oh, okay. Here's the duplicating sludge, and yeah, looks like there's more of it. Oh, it did float away last time, so assuming it's the same one. Just managed to make 2 evil duplicates, and then yeah, they just came into to fight them, but Snake brings back the real ones, and he tells them to stay put. But yeah, they decided not to, and yeah, especially with Sheik being the other form of Zelda, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Fox is back. He's continuing to attack the ship, and Peach seems to be fine. Yeah, the ship's been hit. Going down. Oh, okay, so it's still fine. And then he's going to try to wreck one of the main blasters. Oh, but that's where Peach is at, so he didn't see her. Oh, that's a massive leap though. And then Sheik is now on the windscreen and smashes it. Yeah, it's a bit of odd to have it like a solid red background, but who knows, maybe it's just like a different way for impact. They nearly fight each other, but Peach is like, nah, let's all drink. Yeah, knowing that, well, she somehow knew that Fox wasn't a foe. I suppose there is like a difference between all of these misfits versus what all of the goons look like. And then here's Mr. Game & Watch. All of them have been duplicated, and Snake just somehow kicked them all out at once. But yeah, all of them are duplicated. And then they managed to change form into this, so that's an interesting way to for this type of goop. And then yeah, Falco comes back as well. So yeah, they all have a another boss fight. There you go, that's all the sludge. Yeah, just yeah, to bring Mr. Game & Watch, and yeah, Peach brings him back. Yeah, there's characters like Mr. Game & Watch and the Ice Climbers that barely have any screen time, but I suppose it's just nice to see what they're like. Even Peach right there is just interacting with it a bit, which is amusing. Then Meta Knight has the ship back and coasted into the blue sky, definitely indicating that the ship's in good hands, finally. And then so Mr. Pikachu, they've found where the Asian Minister is, yeah, from all of their exploring. Then they have the whole army. This is where all the explosives are stored. The HM Minster, doesn't do anything. That puzzles them. Not to mention, this is probably my most favourite moment. Because it's just like everything, well, some things come together anyway. Here's another team, they're like, what's going on? And they probably know that Samus and Pikachu is against them as well. So yeah, that's where Ganondorf's like, enough of this, let's get these explosives. And because all of them are needed at once, which you can see why, because they summon the massive weapon. So despite being technology, Ganondorf manipulates a lot. Oh wow, only of the robot or the main minister himself is strong enough to detach them from the bonds, and that is a interesting concept. So the first layer of the cloak sits on fire, probably makes him temporarily immobile. They go, Ganondorf's just like loving this, and yeah, it's going to plan. But then once again, the others struggle to pull them apart, and that. So you're going to dust off, and all of those birds are going to like defend all of the explosives. But no, the HM Minister turned out to be Rob the Robot all this time, and it differs because, hang on, all of these have red arms too. I thought, oh, because yeah, they all have red arms. Okay, but yeah, DK Line really struggles and just gets triggered. God, you can really feel those slams. Then here's the robot trying to communicate with the others, like out of the hypnotist. But yeah, it's no good. But yeah, they don't have much time. But Captain Falcon does have his vehicle. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up my charger. And he has his craft ready just in time. Yeah, pretty much works as a platform for now. But look, we do see Ridley again. But it looks like an undead version. Yeah, but could that be the sludge make another clone of him, or does Ridley have like another form? I'm not sure. Anyway, the craft is out and all the explosives are done, and now that's of course going to be the biggest one. From how many explosives there are, and like I said, it summons a like a massive cannon, so it's almost like a merging of dimensions almost. So here's all of the teams, so far, and now we have two other teams that have now joined them, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so it's almost like certain areas of a dimension that can, enter the real world, and this is like one of them. And then thing fires, and I think it just creates yet another explosive. Yeah, it just creates another one. So they probably tested it, and it could potentially transport as well. And now we know those two work together. So they see the ship, and they probably see it being hijacked. They probably would most likely know that it's not meant to come this way. And it might have been told in a technology manner as well, saying, oh no, we've lost control of the ship, and it's just been given to us as a message. But anyway, so this one does have like a cool plan, but it's kind of lucky that everyone kind of makes it. It looks like everyone's ships are like rather strong. Yeah, so we have Falcon's ship, Captain Falcon's ship, Fox McCloud's ship, yet another one, yep, and Nolan Mars spaceship, Kirby's on his own craft, and there's another yellowish one as well. Yeah, there you go. So the dodge or the fire, but Kirby's the one who destroyed the thing. Who knows where he got that glider from, or how Onimon got hold of his spaceship. Maybe it calls to them, I'm not sure. Is it like a... Oh, it's Samus's ship. Oh, okay, that explains the luck. Yeah, there's a Lamar ship, slowly going into the portals. So with all of these portals being open, and if they can summon a gun like this, they must now face the dangers and stop whatever's happening. And you can see the whole roster so far. Well, nearly the whole roster, not quite the whole roster of the game. So off they go. Then that's where Ganondorf's like, nah, I've had enough of Bowser, and pushes him aside. And it almost works like cartoon logic, because they just pull these guns out of nowhere. But if it's just like a cartoon thing, especially with the kind of tools Kirby can whip out, like a sword, like as we saw with King Dedede's mob stolen the vehicle. So, and also, because we saw earlier that Mustang was just completely, in his own control without these ropes being attached, but now it was like it's just been. Could he have been, tricking Ganondorf and the others to come this way, only for him to no longer go in league with Taboo's plan? Or I think Ganondorf and Master Hand must have wanted to own this other dimension, and obviously that being only for Taboo to be at the centre of it. I think that's the impression I've got. Anyway, this is like the deadly laser, and now everyone's down. Yeah, that's one powerful move, and because there's that ultimate cinematic segment where everyone gets lasered, but that's just like a advertising clip. Unfortunately, it's not like another subspace, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, so this is what these explosions have been collecting, just like all of the worlds at once. And it's almost like owning every location to himself, and it probably maintains that dimension. I'm not sure, I'm kind of making guesses. So everyone's down except for them, so it looks like those little trinkets can bring them back, which is neat. Yeah, I think he probably found out that it work that way. Yeah, they decided to bring the king back. He seems to be happy to be back, quite forgiving of them as well. And I presume that... How did it... Oh, maybe he was like within, this dimension, the castle are in. That must have got collected as well. And so he must have thought, let's go out to the balance, see what's going on. And then... she's fought Bowser, and Bowser's just like, not having any of that. And King Dedede's like, no, enough of this. He's already proven to beating him. Oh, and he seems to be sad that Master Hand has gone. So he looks like Ganondorf kind of wanted Master Hand to himself, when he shot Bowser earlier. Kirby was like, what did I eat earlier? And he was like, oh, so that's what brought me back. It didn't need the flashback, because that was quite easy to remember. But yeah, it's on its own as well. I think all of those trophies must have got scattered or something. Yeah, here's all of the random colours again. But yeah, this time it's just stuck in a statue. Kirby looks a little bit puzzled. And then King Dedede is like, good to see you, despite everything. But they all have a common enemy now, which is Taboo. Yes, I think everyone is scattered, and those two brought back Ganondorf, and it looks like, I don't know why there's a stairway, but yeah, they go up there regardless. And because by travelling each location, it almost like restores them, and then because Taboo nearly does the death wave again until Sonic comes along. Yeah, I also like the moment where Ganondorf was like tempted to perform a spell against Link and Zelda, but he's, once again just goes back to the whole common enemy thing. And there's the Wario bike. That explains why he's dressed the way he is. It looks like coding in his wings. That's an interesting detail. I don't know where Sonic came from, but he must have heard bits and bobs. Considering everyone else has kind of heard of, what's been going on. They're going in a smaller version of his wings, and now he's done. Presumably fought off by everyone. Yeah, and all of the locations go back to normal. Yeah, because the last one, right there. So it's taken like less than an afternoon, and they're just all on this ledge, watching ahead, and we assume it's like a peaceful time. Oh well, that final shot is, where, when the title sequence, that's where everyone stood. Right, so that was the Subspace Emissary. So yeah, it is definitely like one of those straightforward stories where it's not, no like major arcs, no massive themes, and runs on cartoon logic with everyone spawning objects, just like Wario and his Wario bike. Yeah, he too early was like, let's see what this is, after bothering King DDD earlier. But yeah, it's a lot of story moments I like. The score is rather good. Definitely a lot of cool melodies throughout, like the cutscenes alone. And even because I think the story kind of had to be thin if it was to balance all of these characters. As if there are like going to be some more on the forefront than others, but but there's like some effort made in just seeing how some of the characters balance off and interact with one another, and see some of their abilities and how they like work together, and then how everyone's aware of the danger and how they must fight off this danger. Yeah, I would really like to see a sequel to this. And that would be extremely cool. But yeah, just a lot of highlights. I like some of the ending parts, and Rod the Robot coming along, and DK's introduction. Yeah, it's just rather cool. But yeah, I've watched it so many times. It's just, I just really like the whole crossover aspect. It makes me tempted to say this is like my favourite game, because this is not the only one I have, but I do watch all of them on YouTube, and all of them, have their strengths, because I like the later ones with the extra character roster, but the first two definitely helped lay some foundations, so we definitely will thank them. And maybe I could write a script on how the sequel of Subspace Emissary could come along. We won't have Taboo return, that's for sure. That probably would be a bit redundant. But there can be some inconsistencies with how the characters go into the trophy form. Like when King DDD had a bit of rubble on him. He was delayed for some reason. And then there's other moments, because as much as it was nice for Ganondorf to not want to put Link and Zelda at the end, and whilst it is just as simple as, it's just there's this common enemy, it looks like he's trying to steal all of these locations, and and it's just as simple as that. But I feel like in a more full story, they would have a bit more interaction, to justify moving on and finally getting on. But yeah, it's just because Nintendo aren't the biggest storytellers almost, so this is I think this is the most because I wonder what other other narratives are as deep as this, I suppose. I can't really think, because a lot of the Nintendo games are just very thin plots. Just focus on the gameplay, but at least we can make some guesses of how everything plays out. Yeah, because they're like some Nintendo games or just video games in general, where it is just a video game and that's it. But there are like some like Super Smash Bros. And Super Mario Galaxy and even Mario Party DS. Those do have a story which you can connect the gameplay to the story. And yeah, I like all of the locations as well. They're neat. Yeah, quite a variety. But yeah, there is like some jumps of how characters go from place to place, and I think with enough presumption, they do watch and think back, and that's how they get the answers and come to certain conclusions. Like, who's like the foe in that. I think Lucario attacking Meta Knight before the vision was introduced. I think that's definitely a bit of a inconsistency of some kind, but oh well, I suppose. And yeah, I think because I think with a game this big, because it was Sakurai. I forget what his name is. He's a cool dude who invented the premise from the very beginning. He worked on the first two games, and but yeah, there's these videos made by the gaming historian. Very good channel. I've been watching him for years. He talks about how the gaming process made like the process of making these games, and even the melee one was like quite a stretch for Sakurai, with how much needed to be implemented, and yet Brawl was just a step above, and the rest just consist of adding other characters. But to squeeze in like a story mode on top of all of that, all for one man to juggle. So yeah, I think that's all I can say really. Yeah, I think I felt like with what the premise is like, I think it's rather cool despite a couple of improvements suggested. So yeah, we'll stop right there. See ya.